Hey biology, hope you're doing well when you watch this video. Wanted to go over with you the Wally report, the research paper based on Wally and also ecology. So let's go ahead and dive in and get started. So the first thing is outline. So how do I want this paper typed? This is a typed research paper, so there are some guidelines to follow. You will be turning it in through Turnitin, and I will be sending out those codes and classes in a little bit. So as far as the outline goes, 12-point Times New Roman. So you go up here, Times New Roman 12 font. There you go. Footnote sources, we'll discuss that in a second. Double spacing, so paragraph, you go click on paragraph, and you scroll down. You can see here line spacing, and you click on double, and then you click on OK. Title page, you don't have to worry about that for this time. So let's go ahead and backspace. That's grammar, of course. So a research paper, third person only. I think this, I think that, we think this. That's not the correct format for a research paper. So if you ever kind of need to use that, sometimes the author of this paper works well. You know, saying like the author of this paper suggests, that is third person, of course. This will count as an assessment grade, like a quiz grade, and also a lab assignment grade. Okay, so both of those things. So let's go ahead, and before I move on, let me show you what I mean by footnoting, okay? So let's scroll down here, and I'm going to go over all this again, but let's say, how much trash does an average human make? So let's say I'm typing my report, and I have double space. Let's just make sure all of it's correct right now. Double space, 12 font, Times New Roman, double, click OK, there we go. Paragraph, and then I look this up, right? So I'm going to go online. I'm going to look up, I was trying to look up Google, that's weird. I'm going to look up how much trash, you know, does a human produce per day, roughly, okay? And so you can see right here, dumpsters.com, EPA, a better source, anything that, you know, is, you know, a professional organization is good. Remember, no Wikipedia on this assignment. So let's say you click on, I wouldn't necessarily use dumpsters. I might use EPA first, but you know, let's just go on EPA, and then I'm going to make this a little smaller so we can see what we're looking at. And so we go down here, and you know, we're kind of reading through this, but right here, the total generation of solid waste was 292.4 million tons in 2018, or 4.9 pounds per person per day. Okay, so that's good data, right? Like that's a solid statement. And so per day, so I would give like a little introduction, right? Trash, you know, accumulation has presented many problems. Again, this is a research paper. It's not an outline. So you want your paper to flow. I've been noticing in lab reports that sometimes you're answering in outline form, and that's not the point of research paper. Research papers flow. Okay, trash accumulation has presented many problems over the years. The average human makes, and then we go back to our slide here, 4.9 pounds per person per day. The average human makes 4.9 pounds of trash, and there we go, pounds of trash per day. Now, you did not know that. And if you ever quote, you know, anything like that, the average person, sorry, let's make sure we type right. The average person makes 4.9 pounds of trash per day. So right here, this is where you go to review. So let me scoot this up some. So you go to review right here. And then you go to, you go to references, excuse me. You go to references and you insert footnote. And so you click on this, insert a footnote, and then what you'll see is that down at the bottom of the page, there comes up this number 1. So there's your first footnote and page number 1. Now, there are correct ways of writing footnotes. MLA has a format. Turabian has a format. Turabian is what I've used in my classes. But for this research paper, since we're just starting out and I really want you to focus on the content, I really just want you to tell me where you receive the information. So you copy this, the website, and you go down here and you paste it, okay? And that's what I want you to see. That's what I want to see as far as footnotes go. So when you look up anything that you research, And again, we're not copying and pasting. We are rewording and giving credit where credit is due. You need to footnote the sources, okay? Again, how you do that, references, footnote. So if I use this, and if I wanted to footnote this, I would click footnote. And if you want to give more information, you could even give more information in the footnotes. For more information, please see, this website, blah, 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 blah. So footnotes is a great way to add content. It's obviously an amazing way to give credit where credit is due and not plagiarize, but that is the example of footnoting, okay? So let's go through and talk about the structure of the paper. I went through this before we watched the movie. Again, this is not just a paper on the movie, this is a paper about ecology and why it's important. So the introduction, so what I've tried to do is, the different highlights means I feel like this could be one paragraph and this could be another paragraph. That's what I mean. And so let's zoom in a little bit. So what is ecology? Why is it important? Why is it important in the biblical worldview? We talked about all that in class. So that's one paragraph. And then, sure, a brief introduction to WALL-E. What is WALL-E based on? When is it based? How do humans and nature interact in the film? And how do the directors of the film illustrate this interaction? Okay, if you look up any of that, remember you need to footnote. Okay, I'm looking for your own thoughts, your own, rewording. But if you look up anything, that's fine. You just have to give credit where credit is due, because Turnitin will show me if you plagiarize, and that will result in many, many points off. And so trash. So let's exit out all this. So trash. So we talked about, of course, one of the huge themes in WALL-E is trash accumulation due to irresponsibility and also big business possibly. So how much trash does an average human make? What are the ways we clean up trash right now? And let's get a little bit more specific. How does recycling improve the health of the environment? What products are the best to purchase as far as, I've been seeing lots of paper straws. Is there a difference in paper straws versus plastic? And where does trash even go in Pinellas County? Do we put it by the curb? I take it outside in the alley to a big, kind of waste bin, but where does it actually even go? So again, that's research. You'll have to footnote those sources. Examine the world in which WALL-E takes place and discuss the following questions. So what led to the accumulation of waste? So this is your own thoughts. Was it human choices, big business, both? And then explain, of course. And then why is WALL-E created? What is WALL-E's job? And then so the next paragraph should deal with life. I want you to define life biologically and biblically. If you look that up, give credit where credit is due. What life was Eve looking for and why? So this is huge, right? We should be talking about producers here and photosynthesis here. Those are great topics to talk about right there. And discuss the importance of primary producers. We're thinking about food webs possibly here. So how does WALL-E know that the plant is valuable? I mean, there's something about him that knows when he sees the plant, it's different, it's unique. Why? New paragraph. Why do you think the captain loves learning about the earth so much? So there's that scene in the movie where the captain goes on this trail of learning about earth, and he starts learning about dancing and plants and harvesting and agriculture. And why do you think he loves learning about it so much? And then remember his line to Otto. Is there a difference between surviving and living? He said, I don't want to survive, I want to live. How does our relationship with the earth affect our ability to do either? Does our relationship affect our ability to survive, ability to live? Is there a difference? Bible verses to support positions. So yes, definitely tell me where those verses come from. Next paragraph. This could all be just one paragraph. So how did technology and consumerism lead to the destruction of the planet in the movie? Okay. Is technology and consumerism ruining our planet? Yes or no? Use sources, so research, and justify your position. So this is, again, a moment where I want you could say yes, you could say no, but you have to justify your position. I've seen papers where people take both sides. So it's not necessarily a right or wrong side, it's if you justify your position. What kinds of problems arise because of tech and a consumer mindset? There are natural problems that arise in a consumer mindset. From an ecology perspective, you could definitely go sociologically here, or you could even go theologically when we're consumer mindset based upon what I can get from church instead of serving. But we're talking about ecology there. What kinds of benefits arise? If you were one of the classes that I assigned Part D, you have to pick one other theme from the film, explain it, and apply it to real life. That's only for the classes that I assign that in. And finally, the conclusion. This could probably just be one paragraph. You don't have to make letter C a paragraph. Let's fix that because that's a little excessive. Because I don't expect you to write 5 to 8 sentences. Yeah, what's a paragraph? Paragraph's 5 to 8 sentences. So summarize what WALL-E's ecological message is. So what's the take-home message from the movie? And so the themes in the film to real-life actions and responsibilities. So we do have responsibilities. God created the world and gave it to us to rule over. It's called a dominion mandate, technically. And so we do have responsibilities. God gave us, we're called to be stewards of the earth, not abusers of it. And so, and there are reasons why it matters, because people's lives all across the planet are being affected by misuse of the planet. So it matters. We should care about people's livelihoods. And then what's the biggest lesson you took away from the film and why? So that is the summary of the WALL-E research project, okay? So again, this is a research paper, third person. Make sure you cite your sources. Only use, double space, font, all that. If you have questions, please let me know. Again, I hope this video was helpful. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.